my beautiful pumpkins, and welcome back to the pumpkin patch. If you are new here, hello, my name is Kloee Taylor, and on this channel I believe that we have one of the most cozy, autumnal, most vibey corner of the internet. So if you like the way that I read, you like my style, and you want to become a member of the pumpkin patch, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We put out new content every single week. And today's video, I am so excited. We are going to be doing a message from your, basically either like the mother that maybe you wish that you had had, or like your mother's highest self. But you could also set the intention to receive just like motherly guidance, motherly love. This could come from Mother Earth herself. Just really think about the intention of what sort of motherly archetype you are wanting to receive from, and then choose your pile accordingly. Now, before we get into this, I do have a couple of things to say that are pretty exciting. Number one is, of course, you already know the drill. I do have my Patreon where I put out exclusive readings, weekly energy updates. You get early access to all of my content available to you. That link is going to be down below in the description box, and I would love to have you over there if you want to support me in that way. I certainly appreciate it. It truly allows me to continue to create the way that I do. Secondary announcement is, y'all may have seen it on the community tab or on my Instagram, or if you are on Patreon, you got early access to the drop, and most of you actually sold them out of stock the first time. But I did finally open my website, KhloeTaylor.com, and I am actually offering personal readings now. So if you would like to book me for a personal reading the day that this video goes live, I am doing a full restock. I'm going to be adding a couple of new readings as well. So if you would like to book me, get them while they are there. They literally sold out in like 20 minutes the first time that I posted them. So make sure you go and snag those as quickly as humanly possible if you are wanting one. And thirdly, this video is actually a collaboration with Liv's Light, y'all. Liv's Light, if you are unfamiliar, she is another amazing, wonderful, magical being here that reads tarot cards on YouTube as well. And she is just such a beautiful guiding force. I actually met her through like our mutual interests of tarot, crystals, everything mythical, and we are really good friends now. So please, please, please make sure if you watch this video, please go and watch her video as well. I am doing the motherly aspect, and Liv is actually going to be doing readings for your inner child. So we're hitting y'all with a twofer on healing. So, definitely go and check that out. Her link will be down below. She also sells private readings, has a Patreon, and she is just a lovely, amazing, incredible individual. So I feel like if you like the vibe that we have here, you will also love Liv's energy as well, because I feel like we have very similar vibes. And even my husband has even commented like, wow, Kloee, I have never met somebody else that has such like similar energy to you. And we just like, honestly, I feel like we really get each other. But if you like the vibes here, I feel like you will really enjoy her channel. So please go over there, subscribe, tell her I sent you, and make sure you watch her video as well. It's kind of like you get like 2 pick a cards in one. So that will be linked down below along with all of Liv's links. Follow her on Instagram. Follow that girl everywhere. She's a beautiful, amazing being, and she is truly spreading light into this world. So make sure you check her out. And let's go ahead and get into this reading. So pile number 1, you are going to be here. I did kind of show y'all the roses. Now, I know that for each rose, obviously they're all pink roses, but I do feel like each of them do look a little bit different. So it might be a little bit hard. I did spin them around for you in the beginning so you could really get the vibe, but just choose based off of like the rose shape. Use your intuition here, but we have pile 1 is going to be here, 2 is going to be here, and 3 is going to be here. So just use your intuition. I'm going to go ahead and turn myself down for a moment and turn the meditation music all the way up for you so that you can have some time to meditate with the different piles. And then we're going to be getting into the readings. So I'm going to go ahead and quiet up and give you some time to do that. All right, pile number one. So your rose is here, and something I noted about your rose, I don't know if you saw, but she has a little bit of like, it almost looks like some of her petals were torn or they are starting to kind of wither on this side. And look, a little leaf just fell off the stem. So I do feel like this rose is a little bit representational, possibly, of maybe the worn out relationship that you have with a mother figure in your life, or maybe you just feel like, well, I mean, I feel like this could be taken in so many ways. First of all, that maybe your relationship with your mother literally like tears you apart. Or that maybe you have a relationship with your mother and she is significantly older, or they are significantly older. There's just something to me about like tearing or withering. Those were the words that I heard. So that is, I feel like, just maybe a little bit of a rose message for us. But we're actually going to be starting today with the Rose Oracle cards. I love this deck. This deck is brand new to me. I've had it for, I think it came out on the 1st of March, and it is a deck that I have just been really connecting with for myself lately. And I waited to put it on the channel until I really felt like I had a good relationship with it on purpose, because I feel like these cards are very special. And you have the Breathing Rose, which says heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. You also have the message of the Thorn, protection, boundaries, and clear communication. And you have the Sacred Waters, which says nourishment, replenish, health, rest, and self-care. So I feel like with these cards right away, pile number one, this to me is really an indication that your relationship, maybe even just with your mother, has not been the greatest one, the most replenishing one. And you've had to actually execute a lot of boundaries with them. Now, if this message is coming from your higher mother, I do feel like this version of your mother that you don't really get to see very often. Sorry, I just wanted to move that out of frame. She actually wants you to have boundaries with her. She wants you to have better boundaries, because by you exuding these boundaries, they actually allow her to learn and grow as a person. And it's not your job to change her. In fact, you probably never will in the ways that you desire. But by upholding these boundaries, you actually allow her to consider the way that you feel. And also it exudes the energy to her. It exudes to her this energy of maybe the things that she doesn't even realize she can do in her own life. And the Breathing Rose, this says heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. And with this card, this is why I said I feel like, I mean, I didn't know that this card was here for you yet, but I feel like with the rose having those torn edges to it, maybe you've had your heart really hurt by a motherly figure in your life. And this is really saying like, time really will ease this tension over. And it's not always that time actually does anything. It's that we actually learn better over time. And it is us that makes these changes. And the Sacred Waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, self-care. Queen, I'm going to be honest with you, or king, or whoever, I'm going to be very honest with you that if you're afraid to set boundaries with your mother, it is actually in her best interest, even if she does not consciously see it. It is in her best interest for you to set those and to take care of yourself first. I know it seems really shitty. I'm going to be honest with you. It seems very shitty that you have to, and I'm just going to say it just like that. Just put the French out there, okay? I know that it seems really shitty that you might be the person that has to sometimes act like the parent when you were supposed to be the child, but you are the person that honestly is modeling to them on a human to human level of what relationships have the potential to be like. And it's actually very good for you to nurture yourself in this way and for her to witness that. And Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I see the upcoming cards that we have, and I think this is going to be it, okay? So we also have for you the Nine of Pentacles. And with the Nine of Pentacles, this is a card that is here to remind you that it's actually going to be such a good time for you. If you decide to set these boundaries with your mother, it might be difficult in the beginning, or maybe you've already set a bunch of boundaries with your mother, but the higher version of your mother, the message that's coming through is that you need to be celebrating this time that you actually have by yourself with these boundaries. If you haven't set them yet, once you do, don't let yourself sit in this energy of, oh my gosh, am I okay? Am I doing this right? No, you are meant to thrive and celebrate this time period, because for you, this is actually giving you a deeper connection with yourself and a deeper connection with your own feminine energy. And it's actually going to help you thrive, because the Nine of Pentacles is a card that depicts look at this person. They're just like dancing, right? And they're having new doors of opportunity open for them. But this is about not only having abundance come into your life in new and interesting ways, but also being able to relax more because you are so well taken care of. And this is literally going to come from allowing yourself to hold these boundaries and give more to yourself. So I love this. You also have the 10 of Cups. And what this is saying is that when you decide to enact these changes, you are literally going to be healing your generational line, because the 10 of Cups is a lineage of family, and it's also having all of your deepest wishes fulfilled. Now, this might be a very specific message for one of you, but I'm also seeing that maybe you possibly are like a gay couple. Like you maybe are a woman married to a woman, or a man married to a man, or there's something about like the sexuality of your nature, not your nature, of your relationship that maybe has not been 100% accepted by family. And your higher mother is saying that you need to allow yourself to love how you love, because you are literally healing generational patterns. And it's very important that you stick to your own heart on this one, because I'm gonna like cry. You are literally going to live like such a golden, blessed life when you start to do this and to trust yourself to make these changes. And family ties can be so hard because they teach us everything in the beginning. And this is like literally you with a significant other, even if you're not gay, I feel like, but the gay message came through really strong for some reason with this card in particular. But you are literally going to manifest your dream life through this. Like this relationship maybe even was a karmic tie that you needed to clear through in order to live this blessed chapter of your life. That's how powerful this relationship is with you and a mother figure in your life, that the higher mother that is stepping through is saying like, please go and live your dreams, go explore the world, go and do what you want to do with your significant other, and do not let family ties hold you back, because you are healing a generational line. I don't know why that card made me so emotional, but here we are. We also have for you the Three of Wands. Are you kidding? This card is literally two women like exploring the horizon. This is literally exactly what I was talking about. This is nuts. And there's the moon over the beach, and it's literally like two women. This could be literally like the highest version of your mother and yourself connecting, or it could be you and that partner if you are somebody that is in that sort of relationship. But I feel like ultimately this is you literally exploring the world with your partner, and doing so because it feels good for you, and not letting this relationship in the now hold you back, because you're meant for so much more, and you see it. You already see this vision for yourself. That's beautiful. We also have for you the Ace of Cups, and you got like the biggest self-care reading. Like the Ace of Cups is all about filling your own cup before you pour to anybody else. And Again, I feel like pride is coming through so strong in this reading because there's another rainbow in the back of this card too. Like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. The Ace of Cups here is here to remind you that you really do need to put yourself first. That is what the highest version of your mother wants you to do. And just know that that piece of her is in there. And again, if you set intention for like Mother Gaia, this is the same. This is the same from Mother Earth. This is the same. Even if you have a mother that has already passed on and has like withered away, that is her wish for you, is not to stay stuck in what she did in her lifetime, but for you to go and explore your own life because it is yours to create with. So my gosh, I didn't realize I knew this reading was going to be deep, but I don't know if I knew it was going to be that deep. So next we have for you the card of withdraw. And what this card says to me is, let's get it kind of shiny. There we go. What this card says to me, again, this isn't like boundaries. This card is more about, I mean, it does have to do with boundaries, which we've already received for you. But I feel like with withdraw, that was a weird sentence to say with withdraw. With the withdraw card, this is really about withdrawing into yourself. I feel like pile number one, you might be somebody that has been very connected to a mother figure in your life. And this is the pile that you are discovering your own life on your own terms. And like in the beginning stage of your life, you might have been very close to a mother figure. And this lifetime is all about you becoming your own person, either next to that person or away from them, like not having to be trauma bonded to them or having to even be like make decisions for your life based on what they think of you. And that's why this is coming through so strong, is because in this lifetime, your mother or a mother figure might give you that impression that you have to be something for them because that's all that they know. But the highest version of them knows better. And it's important for you to withdraw from them. Not all of your love, not all of your time, unless they're like real toxic, but withdrawing into yourself and really listening to yourself. Then we also have for you, these cards don't have reversals, but we also have for you the card of the higher perspective. Wow. This is literally a reading about your mother figure's highest self. And you literally got the card. I have the chills, like full body chills. You literally got the card of the higher perspective. This is all about your mother's higher perspective and your highest perspective for yourself, and listening to what your higher self wants, letting yourself be held by the great mother, by Mother Nature, so that you can move forward in life and know that you are well taken care of. This is also about opening your third eye. You might be somebody that is just like very spiritual in general. Maybe that's something that you and a mother figure have done together, but you need to let your higher perspective and higher self be the guide for you right now, and not like, it doesn't mean you can't ever ask your mother for advice, because obviously they've lived, they have things to say and things to share. But this lifetime is really for you, pile number one. This is not about them. In any way that you feel like you are not living in alignment with that, that is what like your mother really, your mother's higher self really wants you to acknowledge your own higher perspective. Oh my goodness. I am just like taken aback fully. This reading has surprised me. Okay, so up next we have for you the card of rest. So we have rest, renew, recharge. What does your body crave and need right now? So with this card, I love the imagery of this, by the way. You might just be craving nature in general and getting away somewhere, because it looks like this person is like away in the wilderness or like taking a trip somewhere just to recharge their energy. And I would also encourage that you journal on these prompts, like this prompt and the next one. It says, what does your body crave and need right now? So something that I don't feel like is talked about enough. Now, I am not a psychologist or a therapist, so please do not use my readings as that. I do study a lot of psychology, so I like to talk about that aspect on my channel and in my readings. Because I do believe that spirituality and logic belong together. Mysticism and science belong together. And with this rest, renew, recharge, what does your body need? I think something that we don't talk about near enough, but it is on the rise right now, is somatic therapy, where we are actually getting into the body, because sometimes we cannot think through all of our, I hesitate to say problems, but we cannot think through everything. And actually getting into the body, we are able to discharge so much energy. Any past traumas, wounding, sometimes those things are stored in the body. And your body is trying to communicate with you right now, especially when it comes to this relationship in particular. So getting away, planning a trip, going somewhere, even if it's local, you don't have to go far. Your mother's higher perspective, even if this is somebody like this figure always wants you like close by, you really need to get away and go somewhere where they cannot reach you just for a little while. Just take a trip, get out, go somewhere, explore, and ask your body what it's really craving and give your body that attention. So we also have for you the how is in the now. Oh, I've never seen this card. The how is in the now. What has your intuition been trying to tell you? Oh my gosh. I can't believe you literally got the higher perspective and this card in the same reading, because this is also about not having to worry about the how of an outcome. Like if you want to take a trip and I just said all of that to you and you're like, what the heck, Kloee, I cannot take a trip anywhere right now. That is just like not even feasible. The how is not your problem. Literally, opportunities are being handed to you right now or will be in the very near future that are going to help you do that. And same with like, even if you really struggle to lay down boundaries with a mother figure in your life, the how is not your problem. Just do what you need to do and let the rest fall into place. And what has your intuition been trying to tell you? So I feel like this is another, again, I feel like journaling on those two prompts, the what does your body crave? And then this one, what has your intuition been trying to tell you about your relationship with your mother? I personally live my life believing that the universe is always communicating with us through people, through smells, sounds, taste, touch, through like little things. Like I will never forget, if I could give you an example of this, when I moved into my apartment, it was actually a really hard time in my life. I've talked about it a lot on my podcast, Divine Authenticity, link down below. I've talked about it numerous times. I went through a mental health crisis in 2021 and I'm feeling a lot better now. But when I moved into my new apartment, all of the lights above my apartment, like not stairwell, but like the hallway that like broke off to go to my door, all of them were burnt out. And the day that I started like connecting with the Divine Mother and rebuilding my relationship, all of the lights in those covers, like the covered lights got changed and all the lights came on. And I was just like, wow, what a symbolic notion to like, this was literally the day that I started feeling better and all the lights came on. Like it just, things like that. Like the universe is always trying to communicate with us, and so is your intuition. So what could the messaging around you be right now? What things can you pick up on? Because all of us have intuition, I promise. Wow. It's like beautiful energy for you. This, I love like everything we've covered so far. I'm obsessed for you. And then the last few cards we have are all cards of self-care and what your mother's higher perspective or highest self wants you to experience right now for yourself, or just some ideas on self-care for you. Excuse me. And then I also am going to be doing a little bit of book divination for you at the end. So make sure you stick around for that. But for self-care, actually, let's read these this way because they have a couple of meanings actually. So if you look here, we have sometimes the best decision is no decision at all. So this one is decision. And I think what's really interesting about this card is, oh gosh, that is, I'm sorry if this one hurts, but the message that's coming through from spirit, from your mother's higher perspective, is ask yourself, if anything. Now, granted, I want to pay homage to sometimes it really is just trauma that holds us back. And I never want anybody here to feel like I'm just trying to explain that away or put a pretty bow on top of it, because that's very real and your feelings are very valid. But for some of us, the thing that we are allowing ourselves to sit in by not creating boundaries with our mother, by not doing things on our own terms, creating our own life, getting in touch with our intuition, in that story of why we don't do it, what is it that we're gaining? Because even when something feels like it's not good for us, sometimes we attach stories to it that actually benefit us in some way. Like, I'm trying to think of something for myself where like, it just was like, oh yeah, I totally benefit from that. I can't think of anything in like the moment, but I do feel like there might be something, like a reason you haven't made this decision. You might be gaining some kind of a benefit from it. And ask yourself that, really sit with that question and then decide. So we also have for you, today, you are a curator of beauty. You are blessed with moments that let you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that all is well in the world. Hold on. So for self-care, though, I want to go back to this one first. For self-care, with this decision card, the fact that the card also said no decision at all is also a decision. You don't have to do all of this in a day. You can also really take your time with the information that you're receiving right now. And that can be an act of self-care, not just rushing through anything. Okay, so with this card, today you are a curator of beauty. You are blessed with moments that let you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that all is well in the world. And this is the beauty card. So for self-care, for some of you, if this is something that calls to you, this might just be doing something that really steps you into your own beauty. And that doesn't have to be like hair and makeup. Beauty literally is anything that you want it to be. It can be creating more beauty in the world through your senses. It can be doing your hair and makeup. It can be doing something that makes you feel beautiful, no matter what that looks like. And this is going to be something that's really going to help you connect more with yourself. And, don't let like the judgment of a mother figure or anybody tell you that you can't do it. I remember when I was growing up, I always wanted to experiment with like different colored lipsticks, like blue and purple. And I would always get like basically shit on by one of my siblings that is like very like, in practical terms, like very beautiful, or in like I don't even know how to explain that. I guess like the culturally like accepted beauty is kind of that, like just like very tall, looks like a model. And I like, we've talked about this since then, so I'm not like spreading shade or anything. But for many years, I just wouldn't wear lipstick because I was always like told by this person that I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull it off, etc. And that was weird. And then eventually I, in my like mid-20s, was just like, screw it. I'm going to buy this lavender lipstick and this dark blue one. And I just started wearing colored lipstick, like just random colors. I don't really do it anymore because it's just not my style. But it was such a great expression of my own beauty for myself. And it was fun. I had a good time. So like, it's those kinds of things, like maybe tattoos are really beautiful to you, but your mother says that they're ugly. And why would you do that to yourself? Go get the tattoo anyways. Like, do what you want to do for yourself and don't let anybody tell you what to do with your body or any form of beauty, any way that you want to create it. Then we have, sometimes the best way to grow is to simply let go with the release. So something I really love about this card is there is a practice where you can actually connect with the Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, and you can basically lay on earth or just on your floor if you don't want to go outside. And you just like tense every muscle in your body and then hold that for 8 seconds and then release and let all of your muscles relax and just like breathe and try to like tune into your heartbeat basically, and just let yourself be held by Mother Earth. Because even if you can't do it outside, Mother Earth is still holding your house up, right? So it's still there. She's still there. And just let yourself be held, and also let yourself release. And also something to know, I don't know why your reading has so much, like, Spirit keeps like insisting on this trauma discussion. Again, please remember, I'm not a mental health professional. But trauma can actually be stored often around the hips. So doing like hip opener exercises, doing anything that allows you to extend the hips. And please know, even if you can't do that, you're not just doomed to hold on to that energy. I myself have hip mobility issues, and I'm able to find ways to discharge and release that energy. So it's just a matter of finding different ways to do it, but that's just one way if any of you were curious. Then we have the card of self-care is a necessity, not a luxury. And this is pamper. So I feel like with beauty and pamper, these also go hand in hand for you, pile number one. But with this pamper card, really go all out. Go get yourself a face mask. If you have a bath, draw yourself up a bath. If you just have a shower, get yourself a nice like scrub or something that makes you feel luxurious, because you're allowed to feel luxurious. You're allowed to spend money on yourself. Don't let anybody come in and tell you not to. And your mother's higher self wants you to feel pampered and adored. So give that to yourself, especially if you don't receive that from your mother and that was something you felt like you would have liked to experience. Like maybe you're somebody that you would have loved to have a mother like go to a day spa with you or something. Like go to the day spa, do it for yourself. You don't have to go with them to experience it. You can give that to yourself right now. And then lastly, I just want to do a little bit of this book divination with y'all. We actually have a book that I've never used to do book divination before. And this is You Are a Badass Every Day by Jen Sincero. I love all of Jen's books. I've read every single one of them except for her latest release, which I own. I just haven't read it. But her books are phenomenal. And this one is just like a collection of little short snippets. And I'm just going to channel from your higher mother. I'm just going to channel a message for you that you really need to hear by literally just flipping to a random page. And then I'm going to read to you exactly what it says. Okay. So we have for you page 42, and I will link this book down below. We have drink twice as much water as you usually do today. Hydrating is one of those things that's so simple and beneficial and important. And yes, I know, annoying. Because you have to pee all the time. But this is your one and only body we're talking about. Consider the fact that the majority of your body is made up of water, and consider the fact that the better care you take of your body, the more energy you have. And consider the fact that it takes a whole lot of energy to transform your life. Drinking a buttload of water seems like a pretty reasonable request to me. Set a timer today every hour to get up and drink a large glass of water. If you can get into the habit of hydrating, the benefits far outweigh the weensy inconveniences. So literally your entire reading was very much rooted in self-care, in taking care of yourself. And you literally got the message of like, fam, you need to hydrate yourself. You cannot continue to not hydrate your beautiful self. You need water. You are literally a complicated houseplant, and you need to be drinking your H2O, okay? So don't you be coming back to my channel and telling me that you're not hydrating, because I'm not a mother, but I feel like if y'all need a little bit of tough mother love, a Taurus has got you, okay? So that is the reading that I have for you, pile number one. Oh, actually, there's one more thing I want to do. I almost forgot. I'm going to roll the astrology dice that I have here. This is actually just a 12-sided die, but this is going to be the area of your life that your mother's higher perspective thinks will be the most beneficial for you to focus on right now. So we're just going to roll this, and then I will give you that information. Okay, so we got 3, and the 3 actually corresponds, 3 might just be a lucky number for you. You also might be a life path 3. So the number 3 actually corresponds to the 3rd house of Gemini. And Gemini rules over the short-term travel. So you need to get away for a little bit. You need to start planning that trip. It also rules siblings. So if you have siblings, maybe this is a time that you want to try to open up to them about some of this. So that and like communication, really getting clear on your boundaries and communication once again. So that is the area that you are meant to focus on, pile number 1. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I love you so much. Please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Don't forget to check out Liv's video to get your inner child perspective. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, where I put out exclusive readings, early access to readings, and so much more if you'd like to support me. And if you would like to book me for a reading, there is a restock that went out today. So definitely head over to my website if you want to book. They sell out very fast. Every time I have done even like tiny secret restocks, they have sold out. So make sure that you snag those while you can. And if you would like to support me in any other way, I have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below. I do accept tips for my readings, but it is not required. And I also do have my wish list listed down below because some of you had asked for it. So don't forget to follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, and my podcast. And that is all of the things. I do too much, y'all. I am out here doing the most, but I hope you'll check out everything down below, and please go and watch Liv's reading and tell her that I sent you. Anyways, Pumpkin, thank you. It's been such a great reading. I've loved this. I hope you like the new style and the new intro. If you're a longtime viewer, I hope this was like, I hope you enjoyed it. I put so much into this one. I love you so much, Pumpkin, and I'll see you around next time. Bye. All right, pile number 2. This is the rose that you chose. And I feel like this rose, it's just like, it looks, I don't want to say perfect because every flower is obviously different, but I feel like this one well, there is some slight bruising to the side of it, right? I don't know if you could even see that, but there is like some slight bruising to it, but it honestly looks so like, for a rose that is like pretty bloomed open, it looks really good and like still pretty healthy. So I like that. That could definitely be a notion of your relationship with your mother or the divine mother, whichever you set intention for. But we have for you, we're starting out with this deck, the Rose Oracle, which is one of my personal favorites right now. I actually spent a couple of weeks cultivating my time with this deck every day so that I could learn it forward and backward before reading with it, because I think this deck is so beautiful. I will link it down below for you. I think it's honestly, and this is not sponsored, it's honestly my favorite deck of the moment. I read with this deck for myself every single day. It's very sacred and special to me. But starting out, you got the card Morning Dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. So the first message from your mother's higher self is like, treat yourself like a newborn baby right now. Treat yourself good. Let this be a fresh start. Wherever you're starting out, be it in a creative endeavor, doing something that makes you happy, whatever it is, you are in such a beginning phase. And also, Morning Dew is literally said in so many like folk tales and stuff to be very healing. So this is also a call from your higher mother or Mother Gaia to get in touch with having a good morning tradition. I don't want to say like a morning ritual because I don't know. For some reason, the word tradition just came out and it felt right. I don't know if maybe that's just a word that speaks to you specifically, but having a good morning tradition and like letting the morning really be a healing time for you, time with the sun, time with the outdoors, maybe even trying to catch a sunrise if it's possible for you to do so. I know some places in the world literally don't get sun for like half the year. So maybe for you, it's just creating something in your morning time that really honors you, but also remembering that this is a really fresh and new thing for you. So whatever you are currently dealing with, it's very new. is definitely the first message we're getting. We also have for you codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. So literally you have like fresh start, new things. Maybe just when this, there's a new moon coming up. I believe it's on the 31st. So the last day of March, it's going to be coming up. Now, obviously some of you might be watching this at a different time. These are timeless readings, but if you are watching when it is new, we do have a new moon coming up. It also might just be whatever moon is coming up brand new for you as you're watching this, but it will be the new moon in Aries, which is the start of the zodiac new year. And it is literally a time for us to fully rebirth and come out of the winter's cocoon. Now, obviously, some of you also live in hemispheres where, or the hemisphere where it might be fall for you right now, or the autumn time. I'm super jelly, by the way. Soak that all in for me. But it's still a time of newness, of refreshing your energy and letting things be brand new and taking the very first steps in this new journey. And I'm wondering, pile number 2, if maybe your mother has like a very bruised ego, because you got the flower that had like a slight bruising. And I'm getting the message that with that bruising, like maybe they kind of put like an idea down that you had, or you don't feel very supported by your mother or a mother like figure. So if this isn't just like Mother Gaia and advice from her, your mother's higher perspective or higher consciousness does want you to work on this project. And the support actually is there, even if she doesn't know how to vocalize it to you. And then we have for you open, which says, say yes, expand through the awareness, trust life. So whatever is happening for you right now, pile number 2, it's something that is literally opening you up and allowing you to blossom and bloom in such new ways. And your mother's higher perspective is here to remind you, and Mama Earth. I feel like this card in particular is really from Mother Earth. And she is saying to open through the expansion, to open through the awareness that you're receiving. Maybe even in this reading, maybe there's a part of you that like is having a hard time even just receiving this message, and you're being called to just be a little bit more open and to trust life. Like I think like one of my best friends actually said this, that apparently they polled a bunch of people and like asked them, do you think you can take care of nature? And they said yes. And then they asked the question, do you think nature takes care of you? And they said no, when in reality, everything comes from nature. Nature wholly supports us and takes care of us. And we need to allow ourselves to trust life as we begin this new phase. And we're in a time period right now where, especially if you are in an area that is doing spring, spring is all that regenerative new energy. And so is the season of Aries in the zodiac. So we are in this like very new time period. I feel like, to be honest with you, for some of you, this might be a little esoteric, but just bear with me for a moment. I honestly feel like we literally stepped into like new energy recently. Like it might have been with Aries season starting, but I literally feel like we have stepped into like some new energy codes or something. Like something feels different about the energy. I feel like spring, at least where I am, is just hitting very different. And y'all will have to let me know in the comments if you're feeling the same way, but just remain open to life's experiences. So far, I really like how well these cards are playing off of each other. I feel like the message from your higher mother really is a lot about being a beginner. And maybe I'm wondering, pile number 2, if you have a hard time letting yourself be a beginner at things, because that could really be the part of you that is needing to be seen the most right now, is letting yourself be a beginner at something and creating ritual or tradition around the newness and being open to whatever experience you are about to receive. So we also have for you the card of Temperance, and this card is about you becoming the alchemist of your own life and allowing yourself to balance out your own energy. So your mother's higher self is, maybe her energy is a little bit chaotic and she did not model to you how best to regulate your own nervous system or to come back to yourself. And the Temperance card is here to remind you that something your mother's higher self is saying is like, you have it within you to do this. I maybe don't show this to you, that like I also have the power to heal and do this for myself, but like her higher self is coming through to tell you that you can alchemize the energy that you are living in. And I feel like for some of you, it might feel a little bit more on the chaotic side of things. Now, please remember, I am not a psychologist or a mental health professional, so please seek guidance from a mental health professional if you require that. But I do love to discuss psychology and mental health on my channel because it is an area that I have studied a lot in. But with this, I do feel like there is something about like regulating your nerves, regulating your nervous system, and your mother's higher self is reminding you that that could be very beneficial to balancing out your own energy. And I'm also hearing from the mother's higher perspective as well, especially if they were very religious, that even if they do not show you on this earthly plane right now that they are accepting of your spiritual beliefs or practices, that it's okay for you to get involved in your own spiritual belief or practices, that like they may never change their mind in this physical reality on their religious beliefs or their spiritual beliefs, but you're allowed to make your own and create your own. Some of you, I'm also hearing, this is very specific, so it's not going to be for everyone. Some of you are also being called to study the path of like magic, mysticism, maybe witchcraft is calling to you, especially with this cloaked figure here. I'm really seeing like it's giving me like witch in the woods vibes. Like it's giving me green witch vibes and working with the earth. So like Mother Earth is literally calling to you to alchemize and cultivate with her ingredients. So that, again, that one's very specific, so it might not be everybody's call, but just if you've been considering it, that is definitely your message, yo. So we also have for you the Four of Pentacles, and your mother's higher self is reminding you that it's okay to be selfish. Maybe this is something that has been said to you before in like a negative way, but it's actually very okay for you to be selfish and to command your own energy, because the Four of Pentacles is usually a card that depicts like greed or selfishness. And this is actually a positive thing for you because it's not the greed part, but the selfishness part. We could relabel this so many different ways. Don't get caught up in the word selfish, because being selfish, like, my gosh, my phone's not in here. My phone is in phone jail. I know that sounds nuts, but I literally have a container in my house that when my husband and I are working, we put our phones in this like little thing that's like a cage and we can take it out. It doesn't lock or anything, but my phone is in phone jail right now because it's hard for me to focus when my phone is around me. So I wanted to get like the definition of the word selfish, which that's okay, another time. But even the word selfish, it has such negative connotations to it when consider it like you literally holding your own energy. Excuse me. And notice how when anybody ever labels you selfish, it's usually because you do not want to conform to something that they want you to do. And that is often why it comes out. It doesn't honor your energy. It like tries to put shame on you for behaving in a way that is different from like pack mentality or the other person's mentality. And like, it's okay for you to be selfish with your energy and to not share. So don't feel like pile number one had somewhat of a similar message. So if you were called to pile number one, maybe check that one out as well. We also have for you the Knight of Pentacles. So I'm wondering if, Yo, hold on. There's another message here. Spirit is also saying, again, y'all got the specific pile. I'm wondering if like not too many people drew this pile, because your mother's higher self, if you have a mother that like ran away with somebody like way younger, like maybe, and like age is just a number, but ran away with somebody like way younger, or maybe like let somebody way younger into your home and maybe that wasn't the best for you growing up. Also, I need to just tell y'all, please, your throat chakra, you need to be speaking your truth. You need to be telling your mother how you feel, because my throat, I don't think I have ever experienced such throat chakra activity than I have in this reading in particular. I need to take a drink really quick. Y'all know that sometimes that comes out, but man, your reading in particular, my throat chakra is having a time trying to get these words out. Whew. And channeling your energy, you need to tell your mother about this, because I think this is actually really hard for you. If you feel ready, of course, never do something that you don't feel ready to do. But with the Four of Pentacles and this Knight of Pentacles, I'm feeling like maybe you see that to you, this was a very selfish act from your mother, and she did not consider your feelings. And I think your mother actually feels, your mother's like higher self feels a lot of guilt, shame, and remorse over this. Like it could have even really wrecked the relationship that you had with her. And she won't admit to it because she has a bruised ego about it. She has pride. And I think that bruising on our rose is her. It's not you. So really interesting. But if that is not your mother, we have the Knight of Pentacles here to tell you that whatever it is that you are taking a new step in, maybe you just got like a promotion at work, or there's something to do with abundance and you taking a step towards that. You're more than taking steps. You are actually like, you're moving. Like maybe some of you actually moving like house or something, but Spirit is saying that like Spirit and your mother's higher perspective are saying that like you are being fully supported in doing this, whether it is from like your ancestral line. There is definitely divine support guiding you on this path towards abundance right now. And then we have for you the King of Wands. So the King of Wands, oh, this is so cute. Your mother's higher perspective is actually like really proud of you for how creative you are and how like how much you've been willing to like build yourself up, especially if she is a mother who has not been supportive of you, because I feel like pride really gets in her way. But your mother's higher perspective like knows better, and she's actually very proud of you. And she does not say it because she is prideful. And again, I don't, the ego is coming through so strong with this one. But King of Wands, this is like not only you being confident in your decisions in your life, making moves, but also being able to create a life that you actually really love. And your mother's higher perspective sees that and like honestly witnesses that and sees that as such a beautiful thing. And I have to tell you, just from myself, like I'm so sorry if you have a maternal figure that doesn't tell you how proud they are of you. And please know, like I do connect with y'all's energy. Like I'm so proud of you. You make such beautiful things, and please like keep doing that. Okay. Ooh. I'm getting a little teary-eyed. Sorry. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all's energy. I think whoever was blocking my throat, though, it's calmed down a little bit. Okay. So we also have for you the, literally, I was just talking about this. We have the card Release. And this is literally just about releasing releasing yourself from burden, releasing yourself from past hurts, unblocking that throat chakra, right? Releasing your truth, saying what you need to say. And some of you, if you're a content creator, release the content, okay? If you're not sure about it and you're having second thoughts, your mother's higher perspective is here to remind you to release the content. Release the content, put yourself out there. This is your sign to do that. We also have for you love. Oh, I'm not going to cry. I'm sorry. Your mother's higher self literally just wants you to know that she loves you and that you're loved, like just for being yourself. And I feel like this is something that is not said to you enough. And you are so unbelievably loved. And I'm so sorry that, again, I am having the feelings for you. Like, I'm so sorry that you have not been told that enough or been given the love and acceptance that you have craved, because you are worthy and deserving of it. And also, gosh, I like I said, I knew these readings were going to read. Like, I knew before I went in that they were going to be somewhat like this, but I don't think I realized how much feeling was going to go in. But your mother's higher self is just giving you that message now. And like, she wants you to sit with this for a moment. Like, please just like place one hand over your heart and let's just take one big deep breath in together and feel those emotions of love. Feel like you'll feel it. Let's take a deep breath in. Right into the heart. Wow. I feel like I felt it. Just like take a moment on that love and really feel it, because you deserve it. You deserve to feel and know that you are loved and have that love. And your mother's higher perspective is coming through to give that to you right now. And you can come back to this video anytime you need to hear it, okay? So then we also have for you, oh my goodness, I literally just talked to you about how great your creations are too. We have for you this card that says, express yourself creatively, start something new. What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? So, for example, I realized recently that I couldn't tell you the last time I created something that I did not monetize or did like, I think all of my creations are very fun. I love reading tarot cards. It really does fulfill me. But I realized that I didn't create anything like just for me, that I don't put online, that I don't share. And this is also like for you, it could be the opposite, that you are needing to create and express yourself more in like the general public or more out there and put yourself out there more, because maybe you're someone that never does. But it also could be that you need to just not only do that, express yourself, continue to take steps forward, which I get the sense that that's where most of you are. But this is also a call to create something that expresses yourself just for yourself and not for anybody else. And this is also your mother's higher self coming through to tell you to please express yourself however you damn well please. Pal number 1 also got a message about this too, that it's okay and it is safe for you to express yourself, and that you should express yourself creatively. Sorry about that. I feel like I'm still dealing with a little bit of coughing. I'm not sick either, so that's how I know. I can always tell when it's the energy. This is card number 44. I love that. 44 is just like such a great number that it's like an angel number that you can get. It means a lot of different things. I always kind of feel like when it comes to repeating numbers, you can go with specific meanings, like if you look them up, but I often remind myself to just like think about whatever I was just thinking about. Or if I feel the need to look it up, I will. But oftentimes I will use my own intuition to like figure out the meaning. So I don't feel called to like divine 44 for you specifically, but just wanted to point it out that it is there. But this card says, come together, we need each other. Where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others and the world? So this is honestly a very hard card to receive, in my opinion. And it's because this world is full of duality. It is full of paradoxes. And your mother's higher self is reminding you that nobody is truly separate. Nothing is truly separate. And we divide ourselves by political stances, by the kinds of cars we drive, where we live, the kinds of food we like, all of these different labels that have the ability to divide us, differences of opinions. And don't get me wrong, I understand that when there are people in power that aren't making good decisions for the collective, there's a reason to be upset and to divide. But also, the way that we are going to heal this planet and heal each other is not to continue to divide. And this is about healing yourself, healing the world, and standing up for what you believe in at the same time, but being able to hold the opposite perspective. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but being able to hold it. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is something that I feel like my Saturn return made very clear to me. And it has been very difficult, but it is something that is possible to hold the opposite perspective. And even if you do not agree with it, to acknowledge it and to realize that none of us are truly separate. We are all one, like one consciousness. We are all one together. And we are better together than we are alone. And granted, I always want to make it clear, I'm not saying stay stuck in toxic situations or like relive out past traumas constantly with somebody. But remember that we truly are not separate at our core, even if we have to put physical space sometimes. And your mother's higher perspective is here, or higher self is here to remind you that I feel like I'm getting like soul contract vibes. And this is like the two of you, and some of y'all might not believe this, and that's okay. Like, disregard for your own belief system. But the message that I'm hearing is like from her higher self is that the two of you had a pre-existing soul contract, and you actually came here and agreed to fulfill it together. And a lot of the experience that has come out of it is like really sorting through that like past karma. And that this is not the first lifetime that you've done together either. I'm hearing that you've been friends before, you've been sisters before. Specifically sisters I'm getting though. Like if you've ever felt a strong indication that you and your now mother were ever like siblings before, if so any of you are into past lives, I'm definitely picking up on that for some of you. But your mother's higher self is saying like, the two of you really do need each other in some capacity. And again, that doesn't mean stay in a toxic situation. And if you are somebody that doesn't even ever speak to your mother, this is not me telling you that you need to start. However, there is something in this connection that the two of you needed to witness in some way. And it's something that you are healing and working through. So the last few cards I have for you, and then I will be rolling the Astro Dice and also doing a little bit of book divination. The last few cards I have, though, are some self-care cards. So we're going to look through those now to see what kind of self-care would benefit you, or if there's any other messages with these cards. So we do have for you the stop trying to control life. It gets in the way of divine intervention. And it says surrender. So surrendering to what is. So the relationship that you have existing with your mother, or if you just wanted advice from Mother Gaia, it is to surrender to life and surrender to the experience right now. That is truly an act of self-love, in my opinion. We also have for you Resistance to change is resistance to life itself. Open your heart and mind to new beginnings. You got so many cards about new beginnings. And then we have change, and there's a big heart. I think you're actually learning new ways to like love, not only yourself, but possibly just like other people in your life in general. You're learning to open your heart in new ways. And that's honestly what this reading has been about as well. And then we also have for you, if beating yourself up worked, you'd be thin, rich, and happy. Try loving yourself instead. And this says self. So this is also about setting yourself free, letting yourself off the hook, letting yourself be free of the cage that your heart has been in. I feel like for some of you, this maybe was like this relationship could have been so damaging that you've like locked yourself and your heart up, and your mother's higher self is saying it's time to like give yourself the keys and open yourself up to being able to be loved, because you are worthy of love. And then we have, if you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. And it says, speak up. Yo, what did I tell you about that freaking throat chakra? Y'all, I was coughing a bunch. I don't think I've ever felt my throat be so tight in a reading ever. And that's why I was like, dang, y'all need to stop. I have never, like, you maybe have never even voiced any of these feelings, and you are creating a war and a division inside yourself. And even if your mother is never receptive of the things that you say, it is time to speak your piece. And something you can also do if you don't actually want to talk to your mother, for those of you that don't feel like that is a possibility, which I always want to make space for you, you can always write a letter and never send it. You can always do what is called like active imagination. Actually, I don't know if it's active imagination. It's like chair imagination or something, where you literally imagine your person of interest that you want to speak to. So your mother in this case, you put them in a chair in the middle of the room. You can even put a chair in the middle of the room and you imagine them there, and you just speak aloud all of the things that you need to say to them. And they can respond if you want it to be that way, like to imagine it that way, but they don't have to. You just need to get the words out. Pile number 2, like you need to speak up, because I feel like it is actually something that is hurting you more than it is helping you at this point. Like not speaking is actually blocking off your throat chakra, and it's not letting you express yourself to your fullest. And it's something that it's literally like hurting your energetic field to not speak up. So now we're going to do a little bit of book divination from this book. This is You Are a Badass Every Day. This is just going to be a quick little, I'm going to flip to one page. I will link this book down below, and we are just going to read what is in here for you, what message your mother's higher self or the great mother has for you. And then we're going to roll the astro dice and see what area of your life you should be focusing on right now. Okay, so you got one that looks like it's a little bit longer because this is the start of it, but this is a tiny book, so it should be okay. We have a simple yet profound habit that will help you stay the course and just generally live a more jolly life is the practice of setting intentions. Intentions allow you to go about your day with clear goals instead of taking everything as it comes. Intentions also train your brain to stay conscious and present in the moment instead of stumbling around on autopilot while your unconscious knee-jerk reactions run amok. Here are some examples of daily intentions. I intend to take nothing personally today, especially nothing that my ex-husband says. I intend to say only loving things about people today, myself included. I intend to get 3 new clients today. I intend to eat only healthy foods today. I intend to enjoy paying my bills today. I intend to sit up straight all day today. I intend to do something that scares the crap out of me and will push me towards my financial goal today. I love this exercise because it helps you focus on your one day at a time, which is the key to fending off overwhelm and staying committed. You can do anything for one day. You can also set an intention before a specific moment in order to stay woke and to employ your mighty power of conscious choice. For example, before walking into a room full of people, I intend to be relaxed and present and look at my cell phone precisely 0 times. Gosh, y'all, your throats might just be one of y'all that has really kept it all in, but please, before driving to the supermarket, I intend to be blown away by the miracle that is driving a car followed by the miracle of all of the food at my fingertips. Before working out, I intend to be present in my body and stay grateful for all that it does for me. Before visiting a grouchy relative, I intend to have compassion for my uncle whose hip never stops hurting. Before taking a bite of a grilled cheese sandwich, I intend to savor the bite and taste every nuance of its cheesy magnificence until I burst into tears of delight. Intentions are extremely powerful and blessedly simple because they break things down into bite-sized tasks. Keep us focused, enable us to show up as our best selves, and make things kind of fun. So this was all about, like, remember how I told you setting up like a morning tradition or something? This is your mother's higher perspective coming to tell you, like, make your morning intentional, make things in your life more intentional. And this is how you're actually going to recommit back to yourself right now, especially because we have the self, speak up, change, surrender. I feel like there's a lot going on for you. And your intention is going to be a very powerful tool during this time period. So lastly, we're going to roll the astrology dice for you, and we're just going to get a look at what area of life you should be focusing on at this time. So we have for you this is 6. So that's so funny. 6 actually corresponds to the sign of Virgo, which is the house ruler of the 6th house. The 6th house is all about your routines, your health, and service to other people. So this is also, to me, if there's like big Virgo energy going on, Virgo always needs to be told that they are good enough, that they deserve love, that they are doing enough just by being themselves. Because Virgos are highly analytical and they tend to be very hard on themselves. So even if you're not a Virgo, this is the energy that you are being reminded of right now, is the energy that Virgo holds or rules over. And this is about paying attention to those daily routines, those daily tasks, and getting very clear on those intentions. So you literally just got a double dose of that. But thank you so much for tuning in, pile number 2. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out Liv's video. She is going to be doing that inner child perspective for you. The link is going to be down below. All of her stuff will be down there. Book her for a reading. Do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Make sure that you check out my Patreon if you would like to support me. There is new exclusive pick-a cards there every week, as well as early access to these videos, weekly energy, bonus content, and so much more. I also have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below if you would like to tip me for my readings. It is never expected, but always appreciated. I have my website where you can now book me for personalized readings. It is the only place you can book me for a reading. I will never solicit you for one, like on Instagram. There are scammers. I don't do that. You can only book through my website, and I do tend to sell out very, very, very quickly. My Patreon literally sold me out the first time that I launched them, and so I didn't say much over here because they were already sold out. So make sure you get those while you can. I literally restocked today. So get those while you can. The link for that is down below. And don't forget to check out the podcast, Divine Authenticity. New episodes every Tuesday. My Instagram, my TikTok, I'm at Kloee Taylor. And I also, because some of y'all had asked for it, I have my wish list down below. But again, no expectations there, but it is there if you'd like to look at it. And that is everything, my beautiful pumpkin. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please take this message all the way in. Like this, your message, you had me crying, you had me coughing. Like, your message was very special, and please take this in. Take care of yourself and don't fear the change. Good things are always coming. And I love you so much, pumpkin. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye. Hello there, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. So this was your rose, and something I noticed about it is there is a little bit of like decaying leaf here, like literally dead leaf that is trying to fall off this flower. So I do feel like this really gives us there's something that is not serving you, that is falling away from your life right now. So just like an extra little message with the rose there. We're going to go ahead and put that up there, and then we're going to get into your cards. So the message from your mother's highest self or Mother Earth, depending on what you set intention for. Let's just get these focused for you. So you first got Sub Rosa, Hidden in Plain Sight, Mysteries, Learning, and Teaching. That's an exciting one. We'll get to that in a moment. I kind of want to put all these out first. We have The Bloom, Creations Realized, Right Time, Harvest, and Celebrate. And we have The Wild Rose, Do It Your Way, Embrace Your Uniqueness, Untamed. So these cards, I freaking love this deck. This deck is the Rose Oracle. And I just love, like, the messages are just so beautiful and so potent. And of course, I link all the decks down below for you. But what this is really saying to me is you literally are shedding a past version of yourself. And your mother's higher self wants you to know that it is safe to shed this part of you. So if you feel like you haven't had support from your mother or haven't told her something maybe that you are wanting to move into, maybe it's something, a standard that she set for you or made you feel like you had to have, your mother's higher self is basically encouraging you to shed that. And with the Bloom and the Wild Rose, you are also entering a period of your life that is worthy of celebration. It's a good thing to see this fall away. And to embrace your uniqueness. I feel like your mother possibly did not embrace her uniqueness. And in this lifetime, you are somebody that actually guides her, not in a way that like you have to be the parent and she has to be the child, but just by you being your unique self, it's actually a like healing balm for her. Even if she doesn't say that to you, her higher self already knows and receives that. So really cool. Let's go ahead and look at some of the tarot cards we have for you. So right off the bat, I see that you have the Lovers. And the Lovers, this card in this context for this reading is first and foremost about you being very in touch with your shadow side, because the Lovers talks a lot about that you are in touch with your shadow self, that you do maybe a lot of shadow work, which if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's basically looking at the parts of yourself that you would keep a little bit more hidden away from the world, or maybe like the parts of you that other people would deem unacceptable. You invite that energy in. This also, I feel like, could be a message that you and your partner, if you're with somebody, you might both have like mother wounding, I'm hearing. And so you actually bond over that and heal through each other, which is something that is possible. I feel like there is this thing that a lot of people say where it's like, love yourself before you can love anybody else or something like that. And don't get me wrong, I do think it's really healthy to love yourself, but I think it's also very valid to be in a relationship and heal in that relationship, because sometimes we don't know how to love ourselves and it takes somebody else loving us unconditionally to let us fully open up. So, I feel like that's kind of like a flip coin. But we also have for you the Two of Cups. So this is really interesting to me. I almost wonder if you're somebody that actually has a good relationship with your mother, and this reading is actually just confirming that to you. Like maybe you clicked on this on accident, or it's one that you were like, I wonder if like there's going to be something for me there, even though the title maybe says something that I wouldn't think I would need. This might be one where you have a good relationship with your mother, because the Two of Cups talks about a harmonious relationship. Now, the Two of Cups also, kind of like with the Lovers, speaks of a harmonious romantic relationship, because the Lovers does talk about the shadow aspect, but it also talks about a harmonious relationship with somebody else. And with the Two of Cups to me is the most favorable card in the Rider-Waite-Smith-Coleman tarot that depicts a like romantic relationship. So what I said originally about healing with somebody else, the mother wound, if there is one, you actually heal with each other, or it could just be like a parental wound as well. You heal with each other through that. And that is just a message, like maybe your mother's higher self actually sees that, and potentially I'm also hearing from the higher mother that like there's like possibly jealousy there, that like maybe your mother in her like non-highest form maybe gets very jealous of your partner or the relationship you have with your partner. But this is not a sign that you should stop. Like, please keep loving your partner, please keep loving yourself. Your mother's higher self knows that and witnesses that. The Four of Cups is here to tell us that your mother's higher self is basically, I feel like she really gets a lot from you. Like, meaning witnessing you, as we talked about with the Wild Rose, like your unique self. You're also like, when you find your inner calm, this can almost be very like triggering to your mother's human self, but to her higher self, she sees this as like a really beautiful blessing, that it's good for you to like calm and regulate yourself. I want to say it was pile number 2 that also talked about like nervous system regulation. And I feel like even though the Four of Cups does depict like being unsure of possibility, this one in particular, with the way that the imagery is, with the person sitting, meditating, getting clear, I feel like if this resembles you, I feel like your mother's higher self actually like really gets a lot from this. And like, even if she doesn't tell you the work that you're doing is important, her higher self knows how important it is. And you are literally paving a way. Actually, I feel like pile number 1 also talked about this, like generationally. I'm getting the word generation. So generationally, you're actually working to heal a lot. And your path might even be a little unclear right now for yourself. And your mother's highest self is actually coming through and encouraging you to continue to do what you are doing, continue to do the shadow work, continue to weigh out the options. She is not somebody that is going to be able to give you the answers for your life, even though she might like to pretend that she knows what is best for you. That is actually all up to you. And her higher self, once again, knows that and wants to remind you of that. That this life is yours and of your own making. The King of Pentacles is here basically to state that, like, oh, that's a really interesting message coming through. So your mother's higher self, like, I feel like if you're somebody that has ever felt like you've had to reach some kind of financial status to be loved by your mother figure, your mother also could be an earth sign, sun, moon, or rising. If you've ever felt like you have had to reach some kind of social status to be loved by your mother, her higher self knows that that is not necessarily the way. And her higher self is actually here to warn you that no matter how much you try to gain, it's never going to like please the human version of her, because she is stuck in her own ways of thinking. And no matter, like, you just need to really get clear on your own path and stop trying to do the things that she couldn't do for herself. Like, if she tries to vicariously live through you, it's never going to satisfy her, especially monetarily. It's never going to satisfy her, and it's absolutely never going to satisfy you. If anything, I think it will ultimately lead to more disappointment. So this is honestly more of like a warning from your mother's higher self that that actually will not, and this might be a very specific message for just like one of you, but that is not going to gain you any more affection from her. And it's best just to decide what path you want to take and move forward in that. So just interesting, very interesting. I feel like the messages that have come through in every reading today have just been like something else. So we also have for you the card of destruction. And you know what? I actually really love this card. I know it sounds kind of scary, but the destruction card is here to say that you are actually an expert in destruction. And this can be a superpower. I know. Hear me out before you run away screaming. This actually is a superpower because when we have the power to destroy things, it is a superpower. There is an upside to destruction because it allows us to rebuild from a better foundation. And you are the person that you are literally causing destruction and disruption, possibly even in your like mother line, or just in like through like the generational stuff, like generational trauma, things like that. You are somebody that actually is here to disrupt that, to disrupt what has been going on. And ooh, I have the chills. That's always a good sign. That's always like spirit reminding us like, yes, please keep going. You are actually here to disrupt that cycle. And it's something that your ancestors are very pleased with. And your mother's higher self, like she wasn't necessarily here to do that. And there is like, it is a lot for you. And she actually really honors this in you. Even if she doesn't know how to say it or face it herself, you're actually doing something that is really, really beautiful. And then we have connect to your heart. So this card is here to remind you that it is safe for you to connect back to your heart, especially if you've closed anything off. I don't think that like you've necessarily closed everything down because I do get the vibe that you're good with like shadow work and healing work, but like the dogs often symbolize like protection, and dogs might be very significant to you as well, but dogs often symbolize protection in spiritual meaning. And if you have been like really closed off with your heart or protecting or guarding your heart, maybe due to a relationship with your mother, even if you feel like it was a positive relationship, there can still be aspects that come up that maybe were not the best. I mean, we talk all the time. Now, I am not a psychologist, so please do not like use me as like psychological help. I love the field of psychology and I have a lot to say about it because I've studied a lot of it. But if you need mental health, if you need a mental health professional, please seek one. Don't use my readings in place of that. Just a little disclaimer there. But the thing that we often forget about between like big T trauma and little T trauma is a lot of us have experienced little T trauma. Some of us have experienced the big T, the big stuff, but little T trauma is just like basically having an overwhelm of feelings and not knowing how to deal with them, and not having the place to like process what we were experiencing, because little children brains, like we can't do that, right? And it can create little T trauma when we don't have that. So for you, it could be something really small that just needs uncovering. It also could be bigger as well. I'm just feeling like there is possibly something connected in trauma in your line, in your like familial line, that has possibly caused you to put up like a heart wall or like a heart blockade. And your higher mother is telling you that it's time to open your heart, to let yourself be more open, and to open up more to the mysteries of the heart, to open up more to your uniqueness, to let yourself be unique because it is your superpower. We always say on this channel, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. So, take that one in, take that message in and let yourself love. I know it can be really scary, but I feel like for you, maybe that's also a lot of what this is about, because you got that 2 of Cups and that message of, possibly needing to let somebody else love you into loving yourself. So love might be something that's really difficult for you because of this connection. And your mother's higher self is saying, like, let love in, allow yourself to connect at the heart with others. So we also have for you the you are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. What thought pattern do you need to shift? So I feel like if it's not a trauma-based thing, it also could just be a thought pattern that you continue to play on repeat. And I will tell you firsthand, changing your thoughts and your neural pathways to be pathways that are more supportive of you, it takes effort. It's not something that you're just going to wake up tomorrow and say only kind things to yourself. But if we have an inner monologue that is constantly putting us down or picking ourselves apart, and we just let those play on repeat, it's just going to continue to tear us down. And it can become our autopilot like version of ourselves. From my own experience, I feel that one of the best ways to combat this when you feel ready is I call it like mirror therapy. I don't know if that's actually what it's called. I just do this with myself and it's really helpful. Again, don't do anything that you don't feel ready to do, but if I say something negative about myself, I will make myself stand in front of the mirror and say 3 nice things to myself every time. And I actually don't have an inner dialogue most of the time that like shits on myself anymore. It took a lot of repetition to get there. But even when I like start to say like, oh my gosh, I like never do anything right, or I'm so, I'm not good at this, or blah, blah, I literally turn it immediately around and I'll be like, nope, I'm fantastic. I'm so beautiful. I am resilient. I'm going to get this done because I'm fabulous, whatever it is. And the thing is, in order to change that in your mind, it does take repetition. This is why so many people like praise affirmations, because they do work. It's just repetition that people tend to give up on. I mean, I even have an affirmation track that I put out at the beginning of March. I was doing it every day for the first 15 days. And then I skipped a few days, did it for a day. And then I haven't come back to it since day 18. And it's the 22nd now when I'm recording this. So, it's really easy to fall off of those practices. Even I myself, I set out with the best of intentions to do it all month and my life got busy and I just didn't commit the time. So also don't be hard on yourself if it takes more time, but just try to make a commitment just to say a few nice things to yourself, because what you focus on internally with yourself is what tends to come out. So if you constantly give yourself this story of why you're not fantastic, that's constantly the way you're going to keep thinking, even on autopilot. You have to be the interrupter. And I feel like this is something you maybe inherited from your mother, and that's why she is telling you about this, because it's something that she does herself, and maybe you've witnessed that. Her negative self-talk has really impacted you and your ability to say kind things to yourself. So we also have the collective field is impacting you, unforeseen forces in action. How can you, how can you, what does that say? I need to bring it closer. Relinquish control of the situation that feels blocked. So with this card, also look at how beautiful it's kind of hard to see, but how beautiful the art is of this card. Just so pretty. How can you relinquish control of what you feel is being blocked? So with this, I feel like you might be somebody who is highly sensitive, and there are energies around you that also affect you. And it's okay to admit this if this is how you feel. It's okay to admit that you might be somebody that is this might not be every single one of you. This card might just be for a select few of you. But if you are highly sensitive, you do need to take more precaution to protect your energy. And it doesn't, I think everybody could benefit from protecting their energy and finding the tools that work really well for them. That would be actually a really good podcast episode for me to record. I'm going to write that one down, because I feel like if y'all don't know how to protect your energy, I would love to give you guidance on how to do that. but there are definitely just like energies around you. The collective energy might be really affecting on you and cause you to, feel some type of way. And you're just like, I'm sad, but I don't know why. Like, it could be very much that. Now, obviously, take stock of your own life and decide if that's what you feel like is affecting you, because it could also be like mental health things. It's not always just like the energy. It can, I would say, ask yourself what is really going on. But if you feel that like subtle energy really affects you, or I actually have a whole video on like a quiz for highly sensitive people. I'll try my best to remember to card it or link it below for you so you can see it for yourself if you're interested. But it like walks you through the assessment to see if you are highly sensitive. So then you could be the judge for yourself. But I feel like your mother's higher self is really coming through to remind you that there might be more that meets the eye. Like, you're not just like crazy, or it's not all your fault. There might just be energy surrounding you at this time that is also keeping you in like a negative headspace. And then I do have a few self-care cards for you as well. These are just like things that you can do for yourself right now. And then I'm going to be doing some book divination, and I'm going to be rolling the astrology dice for you to get some extra messages. But we're going to look at a few cards of self-care for you first. So right out the gate, we do have this one that says, "Today I allow life to be easy." And you got the card ease. So you may even be focusing on how you can create more ease in your life at this time. And I feel like your mother's higher self really is coming through to say that she's very proud of you. She does not give herself enough ease, and it's actually really good, once again, for her to witness you giving that to yourself. But also, I'm also hearing that this one, so like for some of you, it's a good thing. For some of you, this is actually not the best thing. And hear me out for a moment. With ease, sometimes when we slip too into the divine feminine, we can become imbalanced. Everybody has divine feminine and divine masculine energy within them. And sometimes if we are letting the divine feminine override, which I feel like all of us can be guilty of this. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can also let the masculine go into hyperdrive as well. But an unbalanced feminine energy can often be like too much lethargy and too much, like not too much ease, because ease is always going to be good. But if it leads us into a place of just like hitting rock bottom, of stagnation, of not wanting to do anything, it's not really ease. It's actually an imbalanced feminine energy. We're letting the feminine overpower our masculine drive too much. And when we balance those energies, we can kind of get into flow states going back and forth. So that some of you, that might be a message for you, that there might be too much ease going on. I'll let y'all decide which of you like feels called to that specific message. It's not, I don't want anybody to feel shame about that either, because there's certainly nothing wrong with taking things easy on yourself. But that is what your mother's highest self is saying. Now we also have, be as good a friend to yourself as you are to others. So it says friend. So where you feel like you treat other people with so much love, loyalty, and respect, you need to be giving that to yourself, especially right now. If any of these things that I've said have come up and feel kind of intense, or like, oh my goodness, big realizations, be a friend to yourself right now. We also have for you, your body deserves your love. Oh, this one, oh my gosh. If you have a relationship with your mom, or maybe this is just a message from Gaia as well, Mother Gaia. If you have a relationship with your mom, or like your mom doesn't have a good relationship with her body, this often can get imprinted onto us as well if we witnessed it a lot. So your body really does deserve love. It does so much for you. Like, recently, y'all, I don't know if everybody follows me on Instagram, but I posted a picture of myself in a bikini on my stories. And I would say that I am like, I have fat on my body. Like, I'm not ashamed to say that, but I'm kind of done with body shame. Like, I'm just done. And that is something that I had to work through. I definitely have dealt with this with my own mother, and working through that body shame has been so incredibly healing for me. And stepping into and being like, wow, sorry if you can hear that, by the way, there's a motorcycle outside. Stepping into that, like, wow, my body really has carried me through every single chapter of my life. And your mother's body also housed you. And isn't that such like a beautiful thing to think of when we think about bodies and why they deserve so much love? And I feel like your mother wasn't able to give herself that. You know, we have so much media projected at us, especially like, I mean, men too, but I feel like women, there's so much of this like, be polished, be pristine, be perfect. And also, oh my gosh, you just had a baby, you better snap back. Like, we don't need to do that. We can give ourselves time and grace and allow our bodies to be, you know, it's, your body deserves love. It's done so much. And then it says body. So give your body some love. And then we also have for you this card that says, the words you speak are an invitation to life, a request to bring energy into form. Choose your words carefully. And it says invitation, and it's got all these little words of affirmation. So that whole bit that I told you about speaking to yourself in the mirror, that would be a very good practice for you. I feel like you have a lot of ingrained words that have possibly come from your mother that you need to flip the script and start speaking to yourself differently. It will do you a world of good. So that is what I have for you there, but let's go ahead and get a little bit of book divination out here. So I have this book. Oh, my bad. Let me fix the camera for you so you can actually see. I have this book here for you. This is You Are a Badass Every Day by Jen Sincero. I love Jen Sincero as an author. I also love doing book divination for y'all. We're just going to flip to a random page and see what the Divine Mother has in store for you today, what message she has. We got page 77. Ooh, 7 might be a lucky number for you. It says, when you remember that you're riding on a ball in infinite space with a I'm sorry, I cannot read. With a humongous star of molten fire exploding over your head, and that simply being alive is a near-death experience. The concept of playing it safe suddenly seems so ridiculous as it is. Bleed the hollering... Wait, nope, sorry. As it is. Heed the holler. Oh my gosh, what in the heck? Heed the hollerings of your heart, grab hold the horns of uncertainty, and steer the snorting beast in the direction of your wildest dreams. So this is all about like stepping into your power, stepping into your confidence, and deciding to live, deciding to commit to your life and live each day. And I think that's a beautiful message to receive from your mother's highest self. Maybe that's something that she was never able to do. And for you, it can be different. You do not have to follow in those same footsteps. Now, lastly, I'm going to roll the astrology dice for you just to see what area of your life you should be focusing on right now. Just a last message from your higher mother. And that is 11. So you got the 11th house in your reading, and the 11th house is the house of friendship, as well as air travel, as well as the house of hopes, wishes, and like dreams. So I do feel like because it is the house of friendship and you got the friendship card, this is also about connecting to your friends or being a friend. That is the area of your life that you need to focus more on, as well as your hopes, wishes, and dreams. So that is what I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget to go and check out Liv's Lights video, or Liv's Lights video on she's doing the inner child. So this reading is kind of like a twofer. You get to do the higher mother here and the inner child with her. And that video is linked down below. Don't forget to check out my Patreon, where I have early access to these videos. There's weekly pick a cards. They're almost weekly. There's like several per month that they're exclusive pick a cards that you can only get on Patreon, as well as weekly energies that come out every single week, and so much more. So come and join the Patreon if you want to support me in that way. I would certainly appreciate it. I also have recently started offering private readings. I restocked today, the day that this video goes up. So if you would like to book a private personal reading with me, definitely do so. It's at KhloeTaylor.com. I would love to read for you. My readings do sell out very, very quickly, as this is like a new service that I've started adding. And last time Patreon sold me out before I could even post them anywhere else. So make sure you get those readings if you really want them, because I promise you they will sell out. So yeah, she is booked and busy, but definitely check that out if you want a reading from me. And if you would like to support me in other ways, I also have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below. I do not expect tips, but I certainly appreciate them, as well as my wish list if you would like to gift me something. All of that down below for you. Don't forget to check out my podcast, Divine Authenticity. New episodes every single Tuesday. My Instagram, my TikTok, I'm at Kloee Taylor. And please do not forget, when you stand in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you again next time. Bye.